Hi, in my last video you may have seen me checking how square the combination square is and the fact that mine was quite badly out of square. Since then I've figured out how to actually fix this and I'd like to show you just in case it can help you out as well. Okay, first things first, this is the combination square and you can take it apart, it's only a couple of pieces. You just want to unscrew this as far as you can, it will come off. Be careful when you do that you don't drop it. There's a spring as well, it's not necessary, but take the spring out. Then you can actually pull all of that just straight out, or grab that, slide the rule out, and then you'll see at the top here, just pull all of that out. So that's all the individual pieces now. There you go. And we're going to play with those. Just to show you what the problem was, I've held in this together so you can see. Obviously here and here is supposed to be a right angle, but in my case it wasn't, because what had happened is the ruler itself was kind of tilted like that, which obviously isn't square. Now the way that you can fix this should be reasonably obvious. I mean, you can see here it just slots into the stock. And of course it's got a bit of freedom to move. When you tighten the nut here, you're just pulling that tight against the stock so that it doesn't rotate. What I actually needed to do was, for this part here inside, just sand it down a little bit, and I don't know whether you can see there, it's a little bit shinier on the inside over here than it is over there, and that's because I've essentially sanded and polished it. To bring the interior bit over here into line with the interior bit over here. Okay, so I just kind of want to run you through exactly what it is that I did. Please forgive the mess. Literally, my only bit of workbench is this workbench. I don't have a proper workshop or anything. I'm in my spare room with a tarpaulin on the floor. It's a bit messy. So yeah, essentially all I did is get 100 grit sandpaper, fold it over, because it doesn't need to be that thick. I mean, this really only needs to be as thick as the ruler itself is, because you want to wear away the bit that's at the bottom and inside, but not the edges too much really. So all I did is literally fold it in half, put it in there like that, make sure that I'm only sanding like this bit and not too much of this bit, and you just keep rubbing it like that. And you do that for a little while, and then you take it off, blow the stuff out, put the whole lot back together, which is reasonably easy. Putting it back together, okay, you want that so the screw part is obviously facing down. You can then control that from there. You need to put the ruler in. At the moment I don't think it really matters too much. I'm trying to angle this so that you can see. So yeah, that just slides back in. Don't bother with the spring while you're doing this because it's just too much faff and it doesn't really make any difference to the setting of whether it's square or not. So you put that back together, get it back out, do that, and then you just test it for square again, which, just to recap quickly, you just hold it square, use a pencil, draw your line, flip the whole lot over, line it up again, use a pencil, draw your line. If it's square, there will only be one line. Obviously, as you can see from this, I did it a couple of times, but the first one was, I don't know whether you can see it in that much detail, but the first one was like off by 3mm up here, and then I sanded it a bit, tested it again, and I was off by about 1mm, sanded it again, tested it again, and got this one solid line. Then, to try and get myself more accurate, because obviously a pencil's not the most accurate thing in the world, I got a block of wood and a little marking knife, and all I did, I know that this block of wood is flat because I've already planed it previously, so I know that it's square and I know that it's flat. So all I did is I just got my gauge, got my combination square, sorry, held it, made a little nick in the corner, and then another nick at the other edge, flip it round, drag the put your knife directly in that first nick, move the blade up, move the combination square up to that, check that we haven't drifted, no we haven't, and if the square is square, exactly square, then it will line up with the nick that you put at the top. And this just about does. To be honest, I can't get it perfect through the sanding, but it's like literally quarter of a millimetre off or something there, less. Far more accurate than it was. So yeah, that's how you do it.